all set through camp.
That'll work. Hey, it's our first day back. You and I and our lovely wives spent a great weekend together and taking in the music and the sun and the beach and all that good stuff. But, one thing we didn't talk about while we were over there together was the fact that it's been really a good kind of quiet in the portal.
Yeah.
It's been a good kind of quiet. Now, look, I get it. We haven't been on the air since Zane Herring left, and I know the devastation has felt all over Tallahassee. But I will say that if that's what we're going to hear and that's all you're going to get, I mean, we already talked about Brendan Gant. That was unfortunate, but
well, full disclosure, on the business side of the operation at Warchant, we have shifts for breaking news, because December taught us, like, oh my God, people need a breather. You need some time to know that you're not going to be called into action. And for several of those days at the beach, you guys would gallivant, and I would stay around until 4 Eastern,
or something. Yeah.
And it was remarkably quiet. Mm-hmm. It really was.
It was a good kind of quiet. Let's hope it stays that way. I would, what's going to be interesting is what does Florida State do themselves in the portal? Like, what do they go out and pursue, as opposed to, I think most fans, and I'm like this too, with the advent of the portal, you just sit around and look at your own roster and thinking about, okay, who's the candidate to leave? Who's somebody that, if I looked at it through a different prism, I could see their vision, right? I could see why they would do it. And you get kind of nervous because you can make a case for a lot of guys where if the goal is, immediate playing time, because as the roster improves, there's not as much of that. And so you start wondering. But it's also a place where in the past we've been obviously very aggressive. And this is the first time, I think, in a while where I don't think we're going to be very aggressive. I think we'll be, tepid, lukewarm aggressive, somewhere in that area. I think maybe 2-3 positions. That's about it. And I think they're all obvious to us too. I think it's one of those things where, we don't have to talk in between the lines here. I think everybody that watched this team last year, watched the spring game this year, has heard us give context through practice reports and daily shows, know that we're all a little iffy about the safety position. We're a little worried there about quality depth or lack thereof. I think I've certainly rung the bell about linebacker. And then I think the other one is probably defensive line, defensive end. I think that's probably an area where you don't think you have real quality depth.
What this feels like to me actually is a professional experience. The professional fandom of the trade deadline is coming. You've got a contender. Mm-hmm. Who can you get to put you over the top? And that happens.
That's a good feeling.
My hockey team. It happens for the baseball team, even though they never get over the top. They're active in the trade deadline market. But that's what this transfer portal feels like, whereas past windows for Florida State off seasons have been about get me as many bodies as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Of capable anything. Can you play at all? Anything at all. Long snappers. We need you, whatever. This is now about, all right, we like what we have at most of the position groups. What can put us over the top? We need to be selective. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, so with what has transpired, I think Florida State's pretty close to being where they need to be numbers-wise. I see Curtis asking that question. I think that there's maybe another guy or two that we'll probably hear from, and is my opinion. I think there'll be one or two guys that will maybe take it on down the road.
Yeah.
Before the deadline.
These things always work out. These numbers always work. Like I wouldn't be worried. If you're thinking about, are we at the threshold right now? Do we have room? If they need to make room, they will make room. And this is the business. It's been that way for a long time. It's more out in the open with NIL now. But it's just, if they find somebody that's a fit and they're at 85, they're not going to say no to the guy because we're full here. Sorry, we can't take you. If you can find a game-changing safety or rush end, they'll take it.
I think they will too. And I think the more that I think about this, first of all, April is flying past, right? We're almost in May. And you know how I get in May? I start telling you about how close we are to June. And the reason I do that is because
it's your birthday.
Well, that's right. But the other reason I do that is because, man, you make it to June. It's football season, baby. Come on, hang in there. You just got to find a way to manipulate the next 60 days. Make it go by quick. But we are really hyper-focused on this season, this team, this program, in a way we haven't been in years. And I'm really worried that it's going to be an interminable summer because I wanted to be here so badly. I'm so pumped to see this team play. I was actually sad. I know it involves a lot of work for us, but I was kind of sad when spring ended just because I like watching this team play. They're a fun team to play. We've had basketball teams like this. We've had some baseball teams like this where you just like them. In addition to rooting for them because they're your team, your school, and all that, you just like them. And this football team is a really eminently likable group. Like, I like a lot of the guys on this team.
They go to work.
They go to work, and they get after it, and they hold each other accountable, and they like it. Like, football's hard. I say that all the time to people. Football is hard, man. Practicing football is really hard. It's not fun. Most of the time, it's not fun. The games are great. The games are really fun. It's one of the most rewarding things you could ever do. But I get a sense these guys like practicing. It's cool to watch.
Well, it's because they know where everything needs to be, when it needs to be done by. It's the regiment, I think, that allows them to feel free when they're at practice. There are some issues that they'll have from time to time, but you don't see pouting.
Mm-mm.
You don't see guys having to be cajoled to work hard. Like, there's none of that. And I know that might be peeking behind the curtain. Maybe they don't want that revealed, but it's good. It's a good news thing. They just go to work, and there really aren't issues. If they have a dust up, it's because of passion, and your blood is boiling because you're competing against each other every day. It's not for being dramatic. There is none of that.
Well, we talked about buy-in way back when Mike got here, and we talked about how it's hard. You got to get everybody to see the vision that you have and believe in it and buy into it. But then there's ownership, and you take ownership of the team in that locker room. And they certainly have done that, which has led to the coaches not having to do as much, at least in terms of that motivation part that you're referencing. Those guys are self-motivated. Coach Storms talks about it too. They transform their bodies. You can't do that by accident. You've got to work really hard. So I think that's why we're so eager. I would be very surprised if we don't hear about Florida State grabbing a safety, a linebacker, and maybe even a defensive end and wide receiver. So I guess I could could stretch it out to 4 maybe.
If the wide receiver is not a game changer, then they do have to be good at returning punts. That's just my personal rule. They don't have to listen to it, but that should be the rule. If you're going to take a receiver, option A, they're a game breaker as a football player in non-special teams functions. Great. That's a take. If not, they must have experience in their resume as a punt returner.
Yeah, and that's one I'm stretching it. Like, I don't know that we're going to go get a receiver. I'm not trying to imply that we are going to get a receiver. I would be very surprised if we didn't go get a safety, didn't go get a linebacker. I would be surprised if they didn't do that. Maybe not shocked, but surprised. And again, it has to be a right fit. They have a policy for all this. We've dwelled on it quite a bit because I think it's a secret to success that they've had a set of parameters that they follow. And I think they know that has to work. That's how you keep the locker room together in a weird time to try to keep the locker room together. Money's being dispersed unevenly and people come and go as they wish and all that. It's hard to keep everybody happy, but they've been able to do that because they've adhered to that rather stringent kind of set of rules that they have when they bring somebody in. So that does make it more difficult. Like, you can find a guy out there who can really play, but maybe he's leaving that school because he's not a great fit. He's not a great guy. He's not a whatever. He's not a team guy. And sometimes these guys are in the portal for a reason. And it's not just because they want more playing time. It's that they weren't welcomed where they were. So they'll have to find guys that fit all that, and who knows. But I mean, it's already the 24th. So we're moving quickly here.
Well, between that and then the recruiting as well, and Michael has us covered at warchant.com with all of those developments, but we're doing so at a higher level. The whole high school recruiting thing is starting to work for us because we're winning football games, and kids say, all right, when this other coach says, Mike, you're about to get fired, they're lying because you just had a 10-win season. You're going to be around. I like you, so I'm going to say yes to you. It's just fun to see how some of those position groups that we have really bemoaned for being thin for years have flipped. Offensive line recruiting is completely different, night and day. Wide receiver recruiting after last year's class with Hakeem and Vandravius now continues. They might bring in 6 guys.
I know, it's nuts.
Just got the number 1 tight end in the country.
Yes.
That's a position that you've been lamenting for a long, long time. It's much, much better. So that'll help us get to the June, the magic month, where it is actually football season again.
When you click on, I like for Michael to be extremely busy right now I want him to be just like in over his head, tired of having to report about another kid. In this case, a 4-star safety or a 5-star tight end or a 4-star defensive tackle.
Put a thread out there. Stop asking me questions. Yeah. I'm going to sleep.
5-star wide receiver. You mentioned, what is it, Joshisa? Am I saying that name right?
Could be.
That kid. Yeah, there's a bunch of kids that are, you're right, interested in Florida State that wouldn't have been a year ago. And you were right not to try to venture into those waters, by the way. Yeah, I like that.
I learn when you get here as an early enrollee because I want you to be an early enrollee. I don't like these summer term enrollments. Blake Nicholson, where you been, baby?
Yeah.
But once you get here, then I know your name. I know how to spell it, though, by signing day because we make graphics and stuff.
Well, I want him to be busy, and I want to venture over there on the recruiting board, Tom, where I never go. Where I never go. I want a reason to go there and click on those stories.
I like that, though, that you admit that openly, that you call it the recruiting board, which is not its name.
I don't know what it's called. What's
the
it called?
PRB. It's the Premium Recruiting Board.
Okay.
But it's the PRB for short.
Okay.
But you don't know that because...
No, I've never been there.
That's right.
If I hear about a kid, I go, hey, Michael, who's that kid? Who's the tight end? Oh, really? Cool. That's the extent of our conversation. And then he'll say, well, we've got a 4-star defensive tackle that's looking at us as well. Where's he from? Oh, cool. That's it. That's my interaction.
Jeff, this has been on the PRB for weeks.
Sure. I'm sure it has. But yeah, I want a reason to go over there. I want to go, look at who's this 5-star dude? Who's this guy? I like that kid right there. It takes a lot for you to stand out to me in recruiting. I have to really be wowed. I remember
Eddie Goldman.
Yes, Eddie Goldman. That's right. I remember thinking, holy moly, would you look at this man?
Yeah. He comes in for a weekend visit.
I was stunned.
Next to Timmy Jernigan, and he's larger already.
Yeah, and Timmy, and I think before him, Tim Jernigan was probably the last guy that I was really pumped about.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I did forecast crystal ball. I don't know what they call it. I did that Noddy to the Knowles. Maybe it was Derek Noddy was the last guy I was really.
Noddy was a great pull on your part.
That was.
It was.
Because at the time that I declared it, nobody else was.
I think we have the RPM, the recruiting prediction.
I don't.
Yeah.
You could say anything.
The other guys have the crystal ball, and then there's a forecast. Like, I don't know.
They're all the same thing.
That's right.
We're predicting that somebody is or is not going to this school.
There are more of those with our logo next to it than we've had in a long time for kids that you've heard of.
Yeah, and that's the other part is when you have people who don't normally talk to you about recruiting, asking you about recruiting, you know good things are happening. Like when your friends in Tampa call you or my buddy calls me and he's like, hey, did you see the wide receiver we're about to pull? No. Well, you should go look at his tape. It's really good. Okay. All right. Now you got me. And you never make that call. You never say that to me. All right. Now I'm going to go look. Yeah, it's a good time. Things are looking up. Could be a constant theme. You could hit that button over and over and over again until you can't, right? So I'm sure at some point, maybe at the end of this week, maybe sometime next week, we're going to get news we don't like. I say that because that's normally the way things work out, but maybe not anymore.
It could be remarkably quiet again this week.
One can hope. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
At Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas, it's prime time hot tub season.
What's up, guys? Our next partner that you're going to hear from is Athletic Greens. You've heard me talk about Athletic Greens in the past. Happy to talk about them again. I take Athletic Greens every day, and I gave them a try because certainly I wanted more energy, sustained energy. I wanted to support my immune system. I don't like taking pills and vitamins per se, and I wanted something that tasted good too. And the first time I tried it, I was very surprised. It had an appreciable effect on my energy levels. And also, over time, you'll note that it helps your skin, your hair, your nails. I don't have a lot of hair, but if I did, I bet I could feel that. I bet I could tell. It's a comprehensive health habit, and it is a powerful one at that. AG1 is great for recovery. That's Athletic Greens. And I take mine basically when I wake up every morning. I don't have to worry about it because you get all the nutrients that you want. It's the best way to ensure that you're going to get all of your vitamins. It's a carbon neutral business, by the way, if that's important to you. It is to a lot of people, and that's good to know as well. I would also note that it is a comprehensive solution to what you need from a supplement routine. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs right now with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/JCS. Helps me out, guys, if you use that. Not financially, but it lets them know that you heard this ad on my show. And I do take it, and I am vouching for them because I enjoy their product. It's athleticgreens.com/JCS. Check it out. I think you'll note the difference in your life with a simple drink each and every morning to start your day. athleticgreens.com/JCS.
Of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like ABC Flooring, Tallahassee Automobile Museum, Krispy Kreme, or Keith Lawson Services, providing professional services and maintenance for your home's most critical systems for over 39 years. If you need air conditioning, heating, or plumbing repairs, you will receive an upfront written quote, and the job will be done on time by the area's most advanced, highly trained professionals. Keith Lawson Services, Florida license CMC 125456 and CFC 1429-197.
This is Patty Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready.
He's recording.
Why are you always saying your last name? It's Patty and Scott. Everybody knows
know that.
Patty and Scott.
I don't know. This is Patty Wilson. I am Patty Wilson.
What is the idea behind said promo?
It's for Patty's Playhouse. We're on Patty's Playhouse Saturdays at 11. Tune in. That's stupid. Just tune in. Saturdays at 11. Patty Wilson, Patty's Playhouse. House talk with a happy ending.
Each and every time.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
This is Brian Kilmeade, and I'm excited to be on the air in the capital city. Be sure to tune into my show. I'll be giving you all the latest news, information, and the truth you demand. The Brian Kilmeade Show is live from 9 till noon, right here on Real Talk 93.3.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
You can set it and forget it. You always know the softball team's going to play well. You always know that they're going to be involved in games that matter in the postseason. That's who they are. It's like this. It's like the soccer team.
Looking forward to setting up shop if the weather allows. We know how regional weekends are, but I don't think Hauser's going to host a regional this year. Just I guess. So if you want that action, you got to go out and see some softball, and that's only a few weeks away.
My dad and both my boys were at the big win over the weekend against Virginia Tech. They got to see the losing streak snapped. Hung out with Johnny Mack and cheered on from Section B. And now because they attended that game, I was told by Johnny Mack in a text today that they now have to go to every game.
Yep.
There's just no way around it.
So is Opa sticking around?
Yeah, I doubt it. Just for baseball, I doubt it. Especially a team that he saw lose while giving up 24 runs over the weekend in a singular game. Whew. We came back from the show that we were at, and I said, "Hey, did they baseball team? No, they gave up 24 runs."
Well, we scored 9.
24. I know Corey wrote about it on Warchant.com about the rock bottom, historically bad baseball season and what could be salvaged. Not a lot. But they did win yesterday, and they haven't quit. After they gave up those 24 runs, they only gave up 4 the next night in a loss. But they fought, and then they fought again yesterday and got a win. So there's that. Not much, man. I can watch Tibbs ABs. That's what I do. I watch Tibbs ABs, and then I go somewhere else because I can't watch them pitch. It's brutal. I never thought ever that I would be here in Tallahassee and bear witness to a season like this in baseball. Never thought it would happen.
23 runs would not have been enough on Friday.
No, they would have lost that game.
Needed to bring 25 to the ballpark to get a win.
When you come to the ballpark, you're like, what's the race to today, guys? A couple good arms. I don't know, 5, 4. I think we're going to need 25 tonight. It's a very different discussion. Do you think that offensive players are walking in and who do we got on the bump tonight? Oh, really, him? Jeez. I may have to go 4 for 4. You too. And you too. I never really thought, I'm not even kidding. I never really thought I'd ever see this.
Marshall McDougal couldn't have won that game.
No. I think to myself, back when we beat TCU, that I was glad I said, whether we win that series or lose that series, just remember, it really isn't going to dictate terms on the season. We were very excited about winning the series, and we thought there might be some good things there.
It's a well-pitched series.
But alas, none of it mattered. TCU's not very good. We're awful.
Yeah. Did they shut down the program? In retrospect, they should have.
You think all throughout the year, the TCU players, like, looking at the scores, what the hell is going on in Tallahassee? Those guys came in here and abused us. It's funny. We did get a couple guys in the portal for basketball. We also had some guys leave, which is good. I did see where Matthew Cleveland is contemplating Mizzou, Auburn, and Miami. Anywhere but Miami, son. You can't go to Miami. They would remember you, though.
If you want to be paid monopoly money, go to Miami.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to be very interested. Not getting Jalen DeLoach was a little unsettling. I mean, don't you want to play with your brother? Don't you want to play with your brother, Jalen, or see him at least? You're not going to play football, but you'll see him in the athletic buildings, workout rooms, Moore Center. You can hang out. No. He said, screw it. Sign with Georgia. Ooh. And we did get we didn't get the Hofstra kid either. He went to Alabama. So some of the guys, some of the high-profile names of people that we were going for have opted to go elsewhere. This was always going to be the problem, even if you could convince Bembry and McLeod and others to take it on down the road, and they did on the heels of Caleb Mills and Matthew Cleveland. Okay, now you've made room. You've gotten under the 13. Now you're down to 12. Good, you got some room. Let's bring in
Well, still wait through the summer. That would be the way I'd look at it. Of course, we want the best players, a lot of them, as they emerge right now, but there's going to be another wave. Kids complete their degrees, and maybe by June or July we'll have a better answer. But it's a couple of new names.
Yeah, I have wanted to see some semblance of a winning season for him, and it starts now. It's the weirdest thing in the world because we're so locked into football and all that, but every day I'm checking that transfer portal for us in basketball just so that Ham can have, a winning season before he calls it a day. I do think, bigger picture story, not a basketball story per se, but I said this when the NIL was becoming a thing, when we were learning that players were going to get paid, and it was going to be on the up and up, and that these kinds of deals were going to be in the offers. I thought it was a doomsday scenario for Florida State basketball because the schools that care about basketball, that invest their money in basketball, would presumably also have the biggest boosters to form NILs and collectives, I should say, to make sure their basketball program wins. And we just simply, while we may have some boosters and we may have some NIL money, I doubt it's competitive.
Well, yeah.
I doubt it's competitive to like any of the other programs we're seeking to compete with in the ACC.
Yeah, they'll overpay, from our perspective. They will overpay against the return on the investment.
Yeah.
And right now we're in a place where I think if you have an uber Knoll who's a booster and their money can go any which way, football is still the priority at this point because job is not finished there. The job is not finished. And NIL can go a little bit further at finishing the job, putting Florida State back in the conversation to where we can be like Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson has been for a long time in that halves conversation every offseason. A little work to be done, but we're getting closer to being that again. I think if and when that happens, basketball will receive a lot more discretionary dollars from boosters.
Oh,
right
once
now
you're all the way back?
Yeah.
I don't know, though,
But
Tom. I think long-term, it's going to be a problem.
I don't think this is a dead issue right now. I do want to see what we do through the summer before I make a determination on what our presence is. And perhaps somebody sees what you're seeing. They're looking at the trades, so to speak, and there's nobody coming here. And they get pissed off and they say, all right, I've got X amount of dollars. Let's go. Let's find some solutions here. Because the talent pool is going to be there through June and July.
Well, we talk a lot about big picture stuff because we're looking at the long-term future of Florida State athletic success. And usually that conversation begins and ends with football, understandably, right? So we start with that, and we feel like that if football is winning, then other things reap the benefit from that. We've talked about the trickle-down effect and all that, where football, if you looked at the athletic budget for years, football had to win. It was almost like it was too reliant on football having winning and dominant seasons. And that's why we ended up with the pinch that we did and having the problems that we did, amongst other things. But the bottom line is, when football wasn't winning, you thought, well, soon this will affect everybody else. Maybe not right away because you'd already built up a great infrastructure with softball and soccer and other things. And obviously Leonard had done a real good job with the basketball program. But we thought in due time it would begin to affect other things. And then the conversation shifted because the world got turned on its head and collectives were needed. NIL became a thing. And the way we did the math had to change.
Right. And TV contracts are now finally being discussed the way they should have been.
Right.
Yeah.
But one thing is for certain, so long as you're having the long-term big picture question conversation, the longer we're in this conference, the more likely it is that none of the programs are good.
Yeah.
So that's where you've got to get to where, you get this football program humming, and then the next big thing that has to happen is we're the hell out of here. Because it'll affect baseball.
Yeah.
And you look around the SEC and the cathedrals they're building to play baseball in and the money that's there for those programs, you're going to see, just like you did in basketball, this conference be far less competitive in those sports that we were once really good at, by way of comparison to the SEC, certainly. The longer we're here, the more likely that's going to happen. And so, I still sit around kind of every once in a while and think, okay, Let's rattle the cages again. Let's do it again. Let's keep doing this so that we become a thorn in the side.
It becomes affordable, I think, for us in the next 5 or 6 years to just cut the check, whatever the size of the check is. The question is, can we get out sooner, and can we do so for less money? I mean, I think that's what the power struggle is right now, is how can we leave at a palatable price, and how soon can we do so? And this summer will be interesting to see if there are any developments there. But I think just knowing that that's going to happen in the next 5 years it puts me in a calm place. Like, you get worried about it. You're looking around the facilities. They aren't getting any newer.
No.
You're seeing the paint.
We put the lipstick on them. But
that's right. Yeah. I know that that's coming. As long as football can be the bridge right now, there's nothing that makes giving to the boosters or the NIL collectives easier to lube the deal than football being good. It makes the spending contagious. And I think they're doing a really good job right now, leadership-wise. You hear Michael Alford talking about how big and robust the booster pools are at our competitors and what percentage of alumni are boosters and how little we have in that regard.
Yeah.
This is the time to hammer that message home when people's interest is skyrocketing through the offseason for football. So I think we've got a good leadership group in place to help us answer some of these big questions, which we did not for decades.
We got asked a question by David. Does FSU have the worst basketball/baseball arenas in the ACC? No. Boston College sucks. Everything about their athletic facilities suck. So no. I'm trying to think.
But it's not at the top either, you know? You're not saying, well, we proudly have these facilities.
No. Listen, there's been a lot of firsts in the last 2 years for this baseball team. It's something. There was a time, and I remember this. I've told this story before. I went to Seattle. I went out there with a buddy of mine, and we were on Washington's campus. And I've always wanted to see a football game there. I've always wanted to go and check out Washington. I've heard great things about the university. And that's what I do. When I travel, I go to towns that have universities. I go check out those universities, even if I don't care anything about them. I like colleges, and I like college towns. And anyhow, we went to the campus bookstore. We walked around, went down on the field. It's a beautiful setting, and all that. I said, I wonder what Washington, I mean, they're in the Pac-12. I wonder what Washington's baseball stadium is like. Because they have where the university sits. I mean, it's beautiful, right on the water. You're all good. So we go over to that baseball stadium, Tom. It was akin to a little league park in a rundown city, like just totally. It didn't have anything. It had like 3 wooden bleachers. It was something. Now I'm sure they've done something about it since then, but it was garbage. And at that time, I remember this was 2000. 1999, maybe in there, 2000, probably 2000.
25 years ago almost.
So a long time ago, yeah. And I remember thinking, golly, that stadium of ours, that is just the pride of college baseball everywhere. Dick Hauser is just something to behold. Look at that place. It's charming. It's beautiful. We're adding on to it. I thought the world of that place. Little did I know that someday we would be well down the rungs of the ladder. When it came to baseball stadiums, the infrastructure, and now the team. But yeah, first those things became dilapidated and problematic. And you go and you go to a Virginia game, you go to a North Carolina game, you go to the NC State stadium, you go to those places, and you're like, man, they shouldn't have better stadiums than we do. Let's get it together. And then soon, I was saying it about every damn baseball stadium in the conference besides Boston College.
Or Notre Dame.
Yeah. Did we go by the baseball stadium?
I think we did. We didn't know it, but
yeah,
it was just kind of.
Or there. Notre Dame. Right.
Yep.
Other than that, man, we're way down the list.
If the dream, well, this is all, it's like cyclical because it's first things first. Football, we need you. Keep doing what you're doing. Like it. We're almost going to take our hand off of the plate spinner. You're going to spin on your own. You're fine. If that continues, then we can start to have these empire building arguments about what's next. What's the most important thing? I would love to see the baseball stadium connect to College Town, a la the Battery in Atlanta. It would be perfect.
And you can do that. There are ways to go do this. No, by the way, Mark Light Stadium's not better than Hauser. That is correct. No, Dad, you're right to bring that up. No, there's several stadiums in baseball that, you could say are on par with Florida State. And then there are several that are better. And then there are a few, maybe 3 or 4 that are worse in terms of Mark Light's on that list too. The big picture stuff I keep coming back to because I fear we're going to stare out there one day and it's just going to be commonplace that we're not very good in basketball and baseball. And that scares me to death. And the longer we're in this league, the more of a reality that becomes because all the money will just go to football. We'll do everything in our power to stay relevant in football. We know we will. It's a football school. We're a football fan base. It leads the way, and it should. I mean, we ended up long ago. Look at the size of that stadium. We made a decision a long time ago to be great at football, and so you have to be. It's who you are. But it doesn't mean everything else will be good if we stay in this conference. We won't have the money.
Yeah.
The best coaches will go to the Big Ten. The best coaches will go to the SEC. The assistants will get paid well above and beyond what we can pay them. Your basketball coach and your baseball coach will be, their salaries will be dwarfed by SEC rivals. And it just becomes a bigger and bigger mountain to climb.
So in 6 weeks' time, you turn 52. This is just the old Matt Millar gut feeling. By the time you're 55, right smack dab in the middle of your 50s, you won't worry about this stuff. We're gonna have those answers by your 55th birthday, you'll be very happy.
So by my 55th birthday, and I'm coming up on my 52nd birthday.
That's right.
But by my 55th birthday, you're telling me that we're going to be in the Big Ten.
We'll be on the other side of the process.
We'll be in the SEC. We'll be in one of these two conferences.
You won't have to worry about that by the time you're 55. There's just gut feeling. There is no intel. That's no inside knowledge. It's just, I believe it, and so it is. You'll be fine.
Yeah, problematic. Jeff Cameron Show. On that note, the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
One man is dead and a child is being checked for injuries after a boating accident in Jackson County Saturday on the Chattahoochee River near Paramore Landing. For reasons unknown at this time, the boat began taking on water. There was a 53-year-old man and a 10-year-old boy on board. A witness nearby was able to pull the boy to safety, but the man was pronounced dead at the scene. The boy was taken to the hospital to be checked for injuries. This incident is currently under investigation. Fire crews worked a Sunday morning fire on Tallahassee's south side. Flames broke out around 9:30 a.m. at a multi-residential structure on Bates Drive. Firefighters found smoke and fire coming from a first-floor unit. The flames were mostly located in the kitchen area, but had moved into the attic. Crews were able to get the fire under control and determined there were no injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Buccaneers Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at buccaneersystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance for scattered rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 79. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Lows level off around 58. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Slight chance for scattered rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 82. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 63.
Where is the best place to find Michelin, Firestone, Dunlop, Goodyear, and Bridgestone tires? Nice Tire and Auto Service. Where's the best full-service auto center? Nice Tire and Auto Service. They do everything from computerized alignments to brakes, tune-ups, and safety inspections. Where can you get complete auto service you can trust? That's easy. Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
My man Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, you know, bears have their own space. You got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay.
You know?
Mouse it is. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Was aware of it. They did mention it in the chat when they saw my Pirates hat that the Buccos are in fact on fire. But here's some more evidence to that end.
Oh, great!
That's what everybody needs. The Pirates lead the National League in triples and stolen bases. The high-priced Mets do not lead the National League in stolen bases or triples. The Pirates do. The Pirates have stolen 25 of 30 bases. We just do it. Safe. You hear that a lot.
You're the guy in the stand shouting safe when he takes off.
As he takes off.
There he goes.
I stand up. Safe. So it's very exciting. It's something to note. It's also true that we've played some bad teams and taken advantage of it.
what you're supposed to do.
But that's what good teams do.
That's right.
Take advantage of playing bad teams and beat them when they do. Are we good? I don't think so. But the Pirates.
But you're not bad. By definition, you're beating up on bad teams. So that makes you not bad.
Yeah, we're not nearly as bad as I thought we would be. So let's put it that way. But not only are we much better than I thought we'd be, we're actually, right now, pretty good. Pretty good.
What was the number? 162. Was it 70 wins?
I bet on I take the over every year with the Pirates just to do it, and I think it was 68.5.
Woo, buddy.
We're gonna blow past that over, buddy. Blow past it. I'm looking at the worst teams in the league: the A's, the Royals, the Reds, the Nationals, the Rockies. Way better than those teams, buddy. So we've kind of graduated up the list a little bit there. We're out of there.
It's a strange division. Just looking at the standings of the NL Central. It's backwards. Like Milwaukee being good's no surprise. That's fine. But aren't the Cardinals still under 500?
Oh, yes. Yes, they are. Yeah.
And the Cubs are good? What?
America's favorite fan base there, right? Yeah.
The Cubs are good this year? Is that real?
Probably not.
Yeah. Still.
They're not as good as the Pirates.
Right, yeah.
I give you little nuggets of baseball information, and this one happens to be about the Pirates. That's all it is. Just saying, they're really fast. They steal a lot of bases. They have to because they're not going to hit a ton of home runs.
It's a good ballpark for triples, too.
But I will say, when you have Contreras, Keller, Hill, and Velasquez all give up fewer than 2 runs and go more than 6 innings Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as your starters, that'll win you a lot of games.
You need to continue, though, to bash Rich Hill for being terrible. I mean, it has to be what it has been, or else you're going to break the streak. Because it borderline gets personal when we have probables and Hill is pitching.
Because he throws 60. It's hard for me to watch him pitch. I'm like, look at you. It's like you used to hate the real tall guy.
Chris Young.
Yeah, Chris Young.
Yeah.
He's like 6'8" and threw like a child.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Now, I got to give Rich Hill credit. He's been in the league for 40 years. I mean, my man has been pitching in the majors since I was a little kid. So that's another reason maybe I'm agitated. I'm like, you're still around? What are you still doing? And then he came to Pittsburgh. I was like, all right.
He was probably teammates with Chris Young.
His first start, he got tattooed. His second start, he got tattooed. I was like, okay, why is Rich Hill here? And then the other day, my man was dealing, throwing a filthy 72, backing it up with a little 68, little 65 slider away.
What makes you more angry as a sports fan? A pitcher who doesn't throw fast at all, and he's got a standard delivery. All right, so it's if you're a sidearmer or whatever, different rules. If you're a lefty specialist, Randy Choate, these are different rules. So is it pitchers who don't have velocity, or is it teams that cannot run the football or cannot stop the run? What gets
can't stop the run? It's number one on my list.
Can't stop the run?
Yeah, number one on my list of things that I can't. That if it's a team of mine that I cheer for and invest in emotionally and watch, Florida State, for example, when we can't stop the run, I have a hard time. I mean, that's a test of your manhood there. It's a football game. It is about being tough. You do have to be tough. When you can't stop the run, that drives me nuts. So I can't even watch teams that don't stop the run. I get like, once that you establish that as your personality, your MO, that's who you are.
Yeah.
If the Bucs can't stop the run, we're golfing on Sunday.
It's a scarlet letter.
Yeah.
Too. The whole world knows it.
Everybody knows it. And they scream it from the mountaintops. And well, they're right to, because it's the quickest way to lose a football game is just not being able to get off the field because you can't stop the run. Clock's just running. This is ridiculous.
I think my least favorite thing, at least in football, might be when you routinely put yourself in position to get off the field on third down. It's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, whatever, because you win first down, you win second down, but you don't have the pass rush to finish the drive. And it's 3rd down, and the quarterback is just sitting there and sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
And sitting there because you don't have somebody like a Jared Verse. And the Bucs didn't this past year. So 3rd and 11 doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's a coin flip. It shouldn't be a coin flip. It should be you don't get this ever.
Yeah.
1 out of 10, you're going to clear on 3rd and long. But if it's up to 50%, that will drive me nuts because then I just watch the clock tick and the valuable plays that you're not putting your offense out on the field. That'll drive me nuts.
Yeah, I listen, one of the things I'm most excited about with our football team this year, Florida State, is that I do think we'll stop the run. I mean, again, offenses have a huge advantage over defenses in modern football. We've swung the pendulum too far the other way. We know that scoring is what the average viewer likes, and they buy tickets for high-scoring games, and they tune in. We look at the ratings. Games that are 38-35, 45-42 are always the ones that are most talked about and watched. But because the rules are so in favor of the offense, the way we view defensive football has to change. And it's hard because you've been doing it. Like, I'm 51 years old. I've been watching for 45 years. And for at least 38 of those, there was kind of a standard of what a good defense did and what a good defense was, and you could look at metrics and numbers and that bore that out. Anymore, if you're going against a good offense, just a good, not a great, just a good offense, even if you're a good defense, a very good defense, see Alabama's players. They have good players. A bunch of them are going to get drafted. They didn't get a ton of stops this past year. They give up a lot of points. If you're facing good offenses, you're going to give up 21 points. You just are.
Yeah, probably 24. Yeah.
So it's so weird to go to a football game now and watch it play out. And in the third quarter, you're up, whatever you're up, 31-17, let's say, right? You're feeling pretty good about it. And then they score and make it 31-24, and you're frustrated. And then let's say you go on to win that game, 38-24. We walk out of the stadium, and you're like, well, good thing the offense played really well today. And you're not happy with the defense that just gave up 24 points. You're pissed about a team, but that's not really even fair anymore, especially in college, because the rules are even more slanted in college because linemen go downfield. All of the RPO stuff is brutal on a defense. A lot of your reads, a lot of your cues as a defensive player, you can't even
you're doing the right thing
to anymore.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing and you still lose because they can bend the rules, break them really. But you're making the right decision on committing to the run or whatever it is, committing to coverage. And then you get burned because you get an extra couple of seconds to react. I mean, 1 full second is all it takes for an RPO to go from tough to stop to impossible to stop. And that's that extra couple of steps for the lineman.
I would say that, when Nick Saban lobbied against that and brought it to everybody's attention, and he was right to do it, I thought they would make rule changes. I thought they would implement it the way they do in the NFL. They flag that every time in the NFL.
It is 1 yard.
It's
all
1 yard is what you get, and if you go any further, they're going to throw that flag. But in college, it's 3, and they never throw it, period. You'd be 8, and they don't care. And that makes it impossible to be elite defensively. Can't. You're going to run into a team that runs a ton of RPOs and gives themselves opportunities against utilizing that rule that's overlooked. You can't be in a position.
What do you think about the running clock? That rule changed. No more stoppages on first downs.
Yeah, for college.
Yeah.
So they're just adapting the NFL rule.
I expected, because there was some chatter about this with the people that are connected nationally, that there would be a hybrid, inside of 2 minutes. Maybe they would stop the clock on a first down, keep it old school for, last 2 minutes of each half. I don't see that as part of the provision. I think it's just it's the NFL.
I want to go through all this, by the way, and we can talk about that some. I remember, how many great comebacks have you seen because of that rule? I mean, really, in college football, you can come back. You can come back in a way you can't in the NFL.
The spike such a viable play because you have time to get up there and line up.
Yeah, I always liked that element. I always appreciated that element of the fact that, if you're trailing, you have a chance in college because of the clock stoppage to make a big comeback.
Yes, because you can use the middle of the field even without timeouts, which makes it much tougher on the defense to pick what they want to do. At the NFL, they just defend the sidelines. You can have the middle. You don't have enough time. But in college, you do, until now.
Well, I am kind of surprised they did it, though. It's we're we're moving ever closer to college football, not resembling college football. I think that's the larger discussion that we have all the time now.
As long as we're on the right side of it, it's okay. Hey, uniforms are updated.
Uniforms look great. We had the discussion. Uniforms look great. I'm really pleased. You're not going to trust them until you see them soaking wet. In the sun, under the lights, sweat. That's the test of the color, if it's the right color. But I think it looks good right now. Looks good. We can get into rules change if we want in the second hour. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, WarchantTV.
Fireplace makes your house a home. How's your fireplace looking? Not too well? Hearth and Patio can help you with that. Actually, Hearth and Patio can help you with anything fire. Give my friends a call at Hearth and Patio. If you need new fireplace upgrade, fireplace repair, you need custom outdoor kitchen, grills, or an amazing fireplace for your backyard. 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. Or you can visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth Patio Tallahassee. They keep the home fires burning.
Did you know that when you order food delivery through third parties like Uber Eats and Bite Squad, local restaurants lose up to 30% of their own revenue, and you're actually sending your money to corporate bank accounts in California? Well, now you can truly support our locally owned restaurants by ordering directly from foodiestakeout.com. Choose from delicious options like El Jalisco, Smitty's Tap House, Hangar 38, Jerry's Cafe, and many more. With Foodies Takeout and Delivery, we can actually put our money where our mouth is. Order your next fresh meal today at foodiestakeout.com.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to tread water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mndlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Hey everybody, the perfect fireplace makes your house a home. How's your fireplace looking? Not too well? Hearth and Patio can help you with that. Actually, Hearth and Patio can help you with anything fire. Give my friends a call at Hearth and Patio. If you need new fireplace upgrade, fireplace repair, you need custom outdoor kitchen, grills, or an amazing fireplace for your backyard. 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. Or you can visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth Patio Tallahassee. They keep the home fires burning.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and line movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Tampa Bay Lightning down 2-1, hosting the Maple Leafs at Amalie Arena today as a plus 102 underdog. Toronto minus 112 road favorite, 6.5 under the total. The Tampa Bay Rays are 19-3. They have won 13 straight at home. They're $1.45 favorite against the Astros, plus 135 at Tropicana Field today. The total is 8.5. That number is shaded to the over. The Atlanta Braves have lost 4 consecutive games. Spencer Strider on the mound today at Truist Park, a $2.65 favorite against Edward Cabrera and the Marlins plus 225. The total is 8 flat. Sign up now for your free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Before new Cascade Platinum Plus, I would pre-rinse all my dishes because my old detergent just wouldn't get them clean. But now I do dishes differently. And no pre-wash, no rewash, money-back guaranteed kind of different. Because Cascade Platinum Plus has double the grease fighting power of Dawn built right in, with twice the scrubbing power, giving me a clean that lets me break all the dish rules. I just scrape, load, and I'm done. Yep. So clean. With Cascade Platinum Plus, I dare to dish differently.
At Taco Bell, we like to keep mornings simple because before 11 a.m., you're not down for whatever. No. You're not interested in trying new things. No. You want a breakfast that's toned down and delicious, like the Breakfast Crunch Wrap with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla. I want to eat that. See? You may not be a morning person, but it's morning, and you're a person. Taco Bell breakfast, served until 11 a.m. At participating Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only while supplies last.
This is Dr. Ryan Finn in Tallahassee. It's time to spring into health. Spring brings neck pain, back pain, headaches, and allergies. We have specific adjustments that can help with these issues.
This is Dr. Shannon Lord. Don't let neck pain, back pain, headaches, or allergies stop you from enjoying the Sunshine State. Spring into action and make your appointment online at finnchiro.com. FENNCHIRO.com.
That's FENNCHIRO.com.
Remember, your chiropractor loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just 1 pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The rules in college football that we were discussing towards the end of the last segment. Final 2 minutes in college football, the clock does stop with a first down.
Correct. Each half, second quarter and fourth quarter. All right, fair enough. If you're not going to have a 2-minute warning, then you could have that instead.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I like it. Thursday's the draft, as I said. We should go through all of the mocks. There are updated. It's 4.0, 5.0, 6.0. We're in that part of the
I saw
mock season.
I think it was Barnwell released an all trade first round.
An all trade first.
Yeah, they start doing that now, where it's like an all trade mock.
Man, if that's your job, you got to sit down and come up with those trades. That's not fun.
I just want to see the meeting that they have for website rollout at this time of year. You know, it's the same supervisor guys like, guys, it's April. You know what that means? Two things. Stephen A playoff videos.
Yeah.
And mock drafts. Nothing else. The only things we work on are Stephen A NBA videos and mock drafts.
And now trade drafts. Well, here is the hope for Thursday. And I bring this up every year. From what I'm reading, certainly, it seems like we have a good chance to have this play out finally. And that is that we might get some shuffling in that top 10. I love when this happens. It affects the whole draft, obviously. But, you know, Carolina goes first, Houston after that, Arizona, Indianapolis. You know, it seems like Will Levis is going to Indianapolis. But at the same point, last week, it was C.J. Stroud, right? So that keeps changing. So I'm just hoping with all the smoke screens we've identified that somebody's just looking to trade down. They don't like any of these quarterbacks if they're like me.
Yeah, I'm hoping for chaos because for the Bucs, the last few years, it's been fun. It's what final piece can you add to the puzzle? Kind of like we talked about last hour with Florida State. That's what this portal cycle feels like. Is what can help put you over the top. Now it's, you need everything. So, you know, when the Bucs pick themselves and they have whatever their choice is, yeah, okay, sure. That's how I'm going to feel no matter who the player is. Yeah, need everything. So might as well. Best player on the board. But for the other teams, that's where I get more interested this year. All right. A couple of teams are a piece or two away. Here comes some trades. Let's see some chaos.
Every team, no matter how good they are, they need something, right? But it is really depressing when you scroll down on these mocks and, you know, they'll say team needs. And so for some of them, it's like corner, defensive end, linebacker. And then the next one down, defensive line, quarterback, running back. When you get to the Bucs page, it's OL, CB, DL, safety, RB, wide receiver. It's everything.
It should say
all of them.
It should say team.
Yeah.
Needs.
team. It could just say team needs a lot. A lot is all it should say. A lot. Yeah, but that's the boat you're in, man. I mean, this is what was going to happen. We knew that.
It's okay. It's okay. You went all in and you took the pot. Good job.
So when they go offensive tackle here, I'm fine with that.
Good.
Yeah. Good. When you need everything, start with the offensive line. Always. Unless you have a can't miss and really hard to project can't misses at the quarterback position. We know that. We know that NFL GMs and execs are not even 50% on this with the quarterbacks.
That's another shirt. That's another good shirt. It's very niche, but when you need everything, start with the offensive line.
Start with the offensive line.
That's a shirt.
But that's true. If you think about what we've been talking about with Florida State for all these years, I mean, you want a great quarterback. Yeah, you want a dynamic wide receiver and a game-changing running back. Yes, you want a dominant linebacker. You would love to have an elite edge rusher. All these things that are sexy that really stand out. Well, those things all stand out when everything else is shirred up, like the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. When Jordan Travis leaves after this year and Johnny and Trey Benson, and you go, oh, my God. All right, got to break in a lot of new players. Got to lean more on Hakeem Williams and Dre Jacobs. And then you think about the quarterback situation, which actually that's the one bit of shop talk we had at the beach. We did discuss the future of the quarterback position.
Yeah.
When your O-line consists of Armella and Lucas Simmons and some of these other young pups that they're developing right now, okay, you have a fighting chance, whoever that quarterback is going to be. Because you're talented in the running back room. You've got good receiver prospects. But that O-line has a couple of true tackles as anchors. And that's where you start.
As long as you have an offensive line, you've got a chance to win with it. You can win with an average quarterback. Maybe not win a national championship, but you can win a lot of games in this conference, especially.
It's like having the best insurance in the world, the best insurance plan. Like, well, if it really hits the fan, I have the insurance, and that's the offensive line, and that's how Bama did it when they first were winning their national titles under Nick Saban. The offensive line was really good, so they could run the ball. It didn't matter who the quarterback was,
and they had studs at running back.
It did not matter. They did not have good quarterbacks. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
didn't matter. They still win. Best defense, best offensive line.
I think, we don't want to get so far ahead of ourselves that we begin discussing what the 2024 Noles are going to look like. But it is kind of fun to project. And I do. I tell you all the time, like, okay, I'm going to be very interested to see who the quarterback is in 2024 because I don't think we know.
Yeah, it's an open
I think it's pretty wide open.
Yeah, it'll be a fun spring to cover for that reason. And every second half drive and blowouts this year matters. Every second half for the future of the position, who they give the drives to, how many drives are given to each quarterback. These decisions are going to matter because they have implications for what's next.
Yeah, when you go back to last year and how many games Florida State was able to win going away, a lot of them. We were pleasantly surprised by that. Just games that weren't all that competitive. Now you pull up this year's schedule. Obviously, you've got the LSU game. We don't figure that's going to be a blowout one way or the other. But you do have 2 back-to-back after that, Southern Miss and BC. Wouldn't it be something to be up at Boston College, Chestnut Hill, hanging out, and we're up 30 in the third, and we're deciding whether or not we're going to give those reps to Tate, AJ, Brock. We're all going to be watching very intently. And we'll have opportunities to do it in 1, 2, let's see. I think Virginia Tech's going to suck this year. 3, Syracuse is going to suck. 4, Duke doesn't suck. I don't know if we'll have that opportunity.
Miami
here, maybe. North Alabama. Probably not at Pitt.
We'll see what Florida's all about in November.
And Wake is well coached, so I don't think we'll be sitting up,
It feels like one where you really want to.
Oh, buddy, I want to I want a number. I want to shoot for 50.
But then they'll have the stupid long mesh and we'll be confused and they'll put 27 on the board.
Yeah. Well,
but we can win 51-27 is a good final. That's a good final.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think North Alabama is let's go firm candidates here. Ready? Firm candidates, not hopeful. We're hopeful we blow Miami out again. We're hopeful we blow Florida out, period. We're hopeful for a lot of these games, but what are the realistic blowout opportunities? Southern Miss, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, North Alabama. That's it. That's it.
I feel that Miami proposition is fairly firm. Certainly more firm than the
Pitt
earnings report from LifeWallet. Yeah.
November the 11th, buddy. Circle it.
It's late enough in the year.
Miami here. They're on quit watch at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be watching early. We always do. But
checks are bouncing.
Yeah. I first guessed that locker room was going to be a mess with just the way they were going about the operation. Now,
and they got to come up here. That matters. I mean, now we did it to them down there, but that longer trip, those road trips, when you've quit, fosters it a little bit easier because you got to get on they probably fly commercial, I imagine. They're Miami, but you got to get on that plane, bus around town, see the energy of a program that's top 10 in the country, top 5 in the country in the playoff conversation, and you're not.
Visions of 45-3 from a year ago where they just ran past you and did whatever they wanted.
Getting off the bus, looking at the stadium and saying, I could play here next year.
Mm.
You know what? I could get used to this. This looks a lot better than what I see every day.
So when do they get anybody to go to Miami? I mean, I've said that before. If you go to a game, you'd be like, well, I don't want to be here.
Van Dyke said so last year.
Van Dyke said
on the record.
We love playing on the road because it's a real football atmosphere. How brutal is that? Your starting quarterback is telling people they'd much rather play on the road.
It's only brutal because it's true.
Yeah, I never assume we're going to blow Miami out, but you might be right. It feels like
got a chance. If it was September, I don't feel as good about it. But late in the year, Miami, they don't like November. They don't like it very much down there. I think they've had one good November since I was in high school.
I don't know that since we've worked together that I've ever smiled as much as I smiled 45-3.
Oh, man.
I mean, it was just one constant smile.
Yep.
And then to just ragdoll their quarterback, Jamie Robinson just ragdolling their quarterback, threw him down. Oh, this is That's a criminal.
And that was their best shot at a touchdown.
That's just criminal what's going on right there.
Well, guess you're not scoring a touchdown this year.
Just summarily dismissed and tossed aside like a piece of trash.
Once that first drive was over, everything was perfect from that point on. Because remember, there was a dangerous throw, but we got bailed out because there was a penalty. And then the next play is pokey. And then after that, it was apparent that we could call the same running play over and over and over.
We're going to do this as many times as we want to do this. You are not going to be able to stop it. You don't have the men to stop this.
That's right. To your point about what pisses you off the most.
Oh, buddy. They had to sit and not just absolutely get demolished, but they had to wear it the worst kind of way. Just the emasculating, depantsing, just we're going to run the ball. Hey, we're telling you what's coming. Here it comes again. Here comes the counter.
Daryl Jackson is watching it again saying, you know what? I'm wearing that uniform next year. Screw this. This sucks.
I am curious, though. You know, Daryl Jackson was a star in camp for several of the weeks.
Especially early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are we going to get out of Daryl this year? Because that is a NFL first-round draft pick. If he plays hard and he cares and he's locked in. Look, people don't look like that. You're not supposed to be 6'5", 328 pounds with very little body fat and the ability to really move. And he does. I think he can be a more dominant player than Fabian. So
interesting.
I think
dominant versus disruptive,
right?
Where Fabian can be more disruptive.
Yeah, I think Daryl can be more dominant, and it will be interesting to see if we get that version because he's trying to get paid. So one would think,
and he'll be fresh. I mean, if he doesn't, it's on him, man. And you know that's the beautiful thing of how deep Florida State is at that position this year, assuming that they have moderate health luck. If you stink and you're not putting consistent effort, we've got guys to replace you. We're just going to give them 15 more snaps apiece.
That is a luxury we have not had in many years to tell people basically, look, I need you for these 20 plays. I need you to ball the hell out for these 25 plays, 35 plays. Now, we do not have that luxury at defensive end.
Correct.
And that is disconcerting. I really wish McClendon hadn't left. I get it. I'm not angry. It's not a devastating loss, but it's not good. You were better with him.
Yeah, which is why maybe I wonder if in the ACC kickoff or the beginning of fall camp, they don't say, oh, Dennis Briggs has again moved to end. I
don't think it's set there yet.
He's a Swiss Army knife, and it seems like the greater need is not near the football. It's away from the football on the edges. We
still don't know how they want to use Fisk.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't go into contact. He was out there working out hard, and he looks the part. I mean, he's a big, strong kid.
He could be an edge setter for you.
That's a possibility, I guess. Yeah, a Kier Thomas type.
That's what we need. I think
you have your Russian and
rush. Yeah, and Peyton.
Yeah.
You're good there, but you need some of those hog mollies on the defensive line too.
Yeah, you need to set the edge. And so that what happened to Miami doesn't happen to us.
That's right.
That's what you got.
Over
and over again. Briggs, I think, can play that role. We'll see what Fisk does. We don't know. Peyton's gotten better. He's still primarily a pass rusher. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's got instincts to make plays in the perimeter too, defensively. But if you're talking about rundowns, I don't know. Yeah. I also they got to make sure that he is calm on game day, calmer than maybe sometimes in practice. It's just those 15-yard flags and those games that could go either way.
Big moments.
It just scares me a little bit.
He'll get it together. He's got maturing to do this summer.
Everything's all right, man. There's a difference between going over the line and being Jared Verse. Jared comes right up to that line, but he does not cross it.
No. I can't wait to see Jared Verse play a full season and have his health. Because we got I don't know what percentage he'd say he's at for much of last season. He's very forthright. I'll ask him. I'll talk to him again just like we did last year, before the start of the season. He guaranteed 100% of his effort every day. He said that in the interview. I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, you're always going to get great effort out of me, and I think I can be a dominant player, but you're always going to get effort. Well, We did. We always got effort. But I think for much of the season, he was playing at like 60%.
Yeah, and even that 60% was
Was
so
still
valuable.
good, yeah.
Think about the Wake Forest example. He rotates in more in the second half, and you can see it's instant. The difference between verse on the field and verse not on the field.
Yeah, he's but we don't have a lot of depth there, and this is where you get into the discussion of national championship caliber teams. I think you're always going to find on a national championship caliber team that they have a very good offensive line. You're always going to find that out, and you're always going to find out that they have a very good defensive line. And then from there, it becomes about depth. How much quality depth do you have? Because football is a war of attrition, as we all know. People get hurt. They especially get hurt in the trenches. It's going to happen. You got 300-pound dudes slamming up against each other on every play. You're going to lose somebody. And we found that out last year, and losing what we did, and then the guys who played, a lot of them played hurt all season long. And so we never really got to see a strong front. The offensive line survived their injuries, and you got to give Jazz and all those guys a lot of credit for coming in and being asked to play a lot more than we thought they were going to.
He was a rock for us.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be that at all. So I feel like you and I believe that this offensive line is going to be very good. The starting defensive line is going to be very good. I just don't know if we have national championship quality depth at defensive end. In fact, I do know. We don't.
You can get lucky, though.
You can.
And because you could argue that the 13 title teams did not have national championship depth on the offensive line.
Nobody got hurt.
But nobody got hurt.
Yeah, Stork for like a...
He had the one concussion.
Yeah.
He lined up on fourth down. They're like, no, Brian, this is fourth down.
You got to go.
You got to go.
Yeah.
And so Barron played for a little bit.
Other than that.
But they were fine. Other than that. Perfectly healthy. They needed to be. If they lost 2 starting offensive linemen for a month, they might have still won their games, but it wouldn't have been like it was. It mattered that much.
Yeah, and Jimbo admitted as much going into the season. He was like, we're going to need a little help here on the offensive line. We're going to need to stay healthy. Look, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But in truth, the offensive line, and again, I love saying this out loud because for years we couldn't. If you lose an offensive lineman, and again, knock on wood that we don't. I'm just talking about football's football, right? People get hurt.
Center.
If you lose an offensive lineman, nobody's going to be worried. I don't remember the last time I could say that. Like I don't want anybody to get hurt, but if your right guard goes down, you're like, okay.
4 of the 5 positions.
We're going to be all right.
4 of the 5 positions, I agree with you.
Yeah, center's not one of them.
Right, more in the middle.
Well, just you just need to be able to snap the damn ball.
Correct. Should be simple.
You'd think.
Apparently, it's very difficult. Most difficult.
One of the most difficult things ever to be done on a football field. Apparently, I know. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, WarchantTV.
A cup of Joe, Java, brew, go-go beans, brain water, liquid lightning, wakey juice, whatever you call your cup of coffee, you're missing out if it's not Grassroots Coffee. At grassrootscoffee.com, you'll find an easy way to order the best roasted coffee beans available. It's very simple. Choose the blend you want and how you want it ground, and the bag you receive will have the date your beans were roasted and packaged on it, all written by hand and signed by the roastmaster himself. You'll know that's as fresh as it gets. You can get Grassroots outside of your house also at some of your favorite restaurants in town. Next time you're out to eat, try asking for Grassroots Coffee by name because there's a good chance they will have it for you. And if you own a business, Grassroots Coffee has options to stock your break rooms with all the productivity powder your team needs. Plus, like some other options that you'll find at work, Grassroots Coffee actually is a part of our community. Get to grassrootscoffee.com today and get yourself a treat. Some locally owned, locally roasted, and locally loved Grassroots Coffee.
Motorcycle accident? Call Basic Brooks Law Offices, 777-7777.
At Pinch A Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas, it's prime time hot tub season. And after a long, stressful day, there's nothing like soaking in a hot tub with all that steam. And it has lots of great health benefits, too. Pinch A Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas is your true hot tub headquarters. Save today on the hot tub of your dreams at prices you can afford. Come and shop our 12,000 square foot showroom and find the right model for you. With over 50 hot tubs in stock, you're sure to find the one that's just right. And for a limited time, take advantage of a free spa cover with purchase of your new hot tub. That's around a $400 value, completely free with your purchase. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool Patios and Spas. Come see us at 2473 Greer Road. Pick out your hot tub and enjoy your free cover. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, this is Jamie McClenny from Trek Financial in Tallahassee. Managing downside risk in your portfolio is one of the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement. Trillions of dollars in stimulus from the Federal Reserve and D.C. politicians, combined with zero interest rates, have propped up financial markets since the financial crisis ended in 2009. The Fed recently ended quantitative easing and has started to raise interest rates at a time when the global economy was already slowing. Have you considered what another 50% correction in the stock market would do to your retirement plan? If you're concerned about where this all might be headed and would like to find out about the potential benefits of an active risk management strategy for your portfolio, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule a time for a review of your portfolio from an active risk management perspective.
Make Jamie your first call for a second opinion. Investment advisory services are offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Siri, tell me a joke.
The past, present, and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622. 894-3622.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Real talk fact number 44. Banging your head against the wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories. This is Real Talk 93.3, Tallahassee's Real Talk station. Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Beneficial element for promoting Colorado football. I can't imagine that. No matter how they tried to spruce it up on ESPN and have a play-by-play for it and everything else, and Dion talked about it, added to the excitement. No, man. You had to plow snow off the field before the spring game this past weekend. It's almost May. It's almost May.
That experiment is going to be really fun to watch, no matter how you feel about a very polarizing person in Florida State history in Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
They play TCU, I believe, that opening weekend.
They're going to get their ass kicked.
Like, of those games, you're looking for the Saturday slate because we play Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably top 4 on the docket for the day, with Florida and Utah and the Carolinas playing each other, but it's up there.
Who's ever running the Colorado PR and Twitter game, they should fire them. Every time they post a clip of Colorado and it's like a clip of a player doing something good, they make the mistake of showing you that great play is happening against a kid that doesn't look like he could start at my high school. Every time I look at it, I'm like, well, who is he running past? That kid's fat. He's a defensive back and he's 5'7" and fat. I'm running past that kid. Don't do that. Don't show me that. And then I thought they would learn their lesson because they got made fun of a week ago. They tweeted out this thing of a player, I think it was Travis Hunter. And he makes this move on these slow-footed losers, and you're like, this is awful. And so everybody made fun of it, right? The next tweet was of somebody running past the DB who looks like he's in middle school. He doesn't have a muscle on his body. He's not fast. It's crazy to look at the players on that team. They don't look like college football players.
Yeah, it's like, in past recruiting cycles, Florida State getting a skill position player, and they're in the private school level. of high school football, and they're barely pulling away for touchdowns when they should be basically men amongst children. And you go, he did put up good numbers, but doesn't look like the most well-attended level of football here. And these guys all look a little slow out there.
Yeah. And he's just getting past.
And I mean, he's the best player on that field, but at Florida State, you should abuse all of these people. It should be a crime.
It's weird. I mean, I'm telling you, every time I see a Colorado tweet or Instagram post or whatever, I'm always like, God, do they have a full football team? Does he have enough players? Are they fielding enough players? Because these can't be the guys that they're running up against. Are these students who are just, spending some time out there to help out?
It's their elective.
Yeah, remember they used to have basically you could sign up for it, I think. If you were a male student at Florida State, you could be part of a starting five that goes up against the women's basketball team. And they would practice against men.
At the gym?
Yeah. And so you'd play. And I always thought that'd be cool. Like if you were a student at Florida State to do that, that'd be fun. Well, that's what it looks like when I watch Colorado's players. I'm like, these are just dudes in like a chemistry class that are just 170 pounds.
That is what Dion said when he arrived there. Remember?
Well, he was an ass when he arrived there and said a bunch of dumb things.
But he did basically assess them to be that.
Well, he's not wrong about that.
I don't think they flipped it, I guess. If that's what you're saying, is this is still part of the highlights of spring ball.
They have certainly not flipped it. That is something to behold. Hey, do yourself a favor. Go find you some Colorado highlights on the old Twitter machine there. You'll crack up. You're like, oh my God. Like there were days when we went out to practice at FSU a couple years ago.
Yep.
Where you'd go, and I'd say to you, like, this is not it. Look at these frumpy.
I know.
I mean, it was just.
You'd watch 2 plays, and then that would be, I'm like, oh, man, I think he's leaving. Jeff's going to be gone by period 3. He's done.
I was depressed.
I've seen enough.
There is nothing. There was nothing. You'd look out there and you'd go, oh, Jesus. I would just say that out loud. And I remember thinking, it almost mirrors our baseball discussion last hour, where I never thought I'd see the day where we would field a team that looked like that. I knew that I would see a day where we wouldn't, win 10 games or wouldn't win 8 games or whatever. We'd live through that. I knew I'd see a day where, maybe we didn't make a bowl. But then when we sunk to the very bottom and we're just looking around out there, those receivers, you remember that a couple years back? We were like, oh,
I remember.
None of these guys are any good at all.
Leaving the first tour of duty that I saw, and I said, well, they better have a chip on their shoulder the size of Texas, because they're going to need it. You're going to need some intangible to help push you into the realm of competitive. And now that's such an afterthought. It's ridiculous.
It's great. I remember those days. I know he does. He's with us right now. Ira Schoffel, WarChant.com, joins us as he's wont to do on Mondays. Hello, Ira.
How you guys doing?
Good, brother. Good. We were laughing about rosters. I was talking about Colorado's roster. Like, whenever you see on Twitter when somebody from the Colorado PR team posts a play of like Travis Hunter or somebody doing something, I'm always thinking to myself, no, take that down. The guys he's running past look like me. Like what are they doing? They look like frumpy little fat guys. It's nuts.
Yeah, the one was the last week, I think. Yeah, that was him running around, just running by a guy that looked like he never played high school football.
Yes, I've seen 2 of those.
Yeah. No, it's look, man. It's I think with the roster he's got out there, he's gonna have to fake it until he makes it for a little while.
Well, I'm comparing and contrasting and just loving the fact that it was us a few years ago that walked out to practice and went, oh no, this is not it. And now we just got done covering spring, and everywhere you look, you're like, that's a pretty good player. We're nitpicking all the time, and that's where you want to be. You want to be like at a place where you go, well, he's good enough, but he's only like a 4-star.
Well, they were, think back, man. I think it was like 3 years ago, maybe somewhere around there. The Griffiths kid at defensive end.
Oh,
he tweeted a video of him at practice. He got he took his camera out and filmed a little bit of their practice film from the computer, and it had him beating a offensive tackle for a sack in practice. And the offensive tackle was a guy here that was on scholarship, but had no business being on scholarship, but everybody got excited on Twitter about Griffiths. Everybody's like, oh, look at this guy. Look at, because he was a freshman or redshirt freshman at the time. And it turned out that the matter of competition, the quality of competition matters in football.
Yeah, can you remember? Can you believe there was a time we were excited about Josh Griffiths? Good Lord, that is. We've come a long way, baby. That's a good thing. How much joy did it bring you to file the story? Seminoles snap losing skid, pull off 4-3 win over Virginia Tech.
I feel like I was there for their last win too. So
you'd remember it.
It was about 10 games ago. So it's hard to describe what's happened out there. And I'll give them credit, man. Like, they still seem to want to play. Like, it's not like they've completely. It's not like you see guys. I don't know what it would look like, but it's not like you see them looking like they're not trying. I mean, they are trying, and it seems like they listen to what the coaches are saying. They're just not very good, but hey, they got a W.
They got to win, and I was tired of them losing 1-run games. I mean, look, it's one thing to give up 24 runs. It happens. But they kept losing 4-3 and 5-4 and 3-2. It's like, damn it, man, they've got to run into an accidental win somewhere along the way.
Yeah, and the Kirkland thing was nice because
yes,
and again, this is kind of it's hard to talk seriously about this team right now because so much of it's just been outrageous, but he has come into some situations, and Link talked about it after the game. He's come into some situations and put out a fire, come in with two guys on or even the bases loaded, whatever, got out of the situation. But then after he's had time to think about it and come back out for the next inning, well, all of a sudden he's kind of lost his command and he's lost that focus. And so when they brought him back out for the ninth last night, because he did a great job, he came out with two guys on, nobody on, no outs, gets two straight strikeouts, gets a ground out, gets out of it, or a pop-up, gets out of it. And then when he brought him out back out for the ninth, I was thinking, okay, here's where it's going to get interesting. And then he punched the first two guys out, got a ground out. And so if they had somebody that could have closed any of these games over the last 6 weeks, they'd probably have, 7 or 8 more wins. They still wouldn't be great, but it would be a lot better than it's been.
I think the one that I watched where I vowed not to watch anymore was that the North Florida game where they scored 3 or 5 in the ninth to tie it and then promptly took a 2-run lead on the 2-run homer from Smith and then gave it all up with walks and carry on was on the hill.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just not what you do. When you've got position players on the hill, I was like, this is it.
Not just position players, but hey, come over here, Johnny, from shortstop, you're in Pony League. He can't even warm up. He's just got to. But it's not like it's a guy that's done that. There are some position players. Remember Houston Street?
Oh, unfortunately, yes. Yes.
I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But
vividly.
Hasn't pitched in a college game in a couple of years, and then bring him into shortstop. So, but that just again speaks to how outrageous this whole thing has been.
It's crazy. All right, what football wise are you going to be on the lookout for? Is it the comings and goings? Is it more of the who does Florida State target, or are you still waiting on a couple of names from this roster to announce? I know we were all devastated to see Zane Herring's taking it on down the road. Anything more to expect here in the next couple of days regarding the football portal?
Yeah, my guess is you'll see. I still think there'll be a couple guys to leave. I think Mike Norvell said that he was going to be doing his exit interviews this week. So I think anybody who hasn't made the decision to move on might still make the decision to move on. So there's another week of the portal, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple guys go. And then the other big question is what position do they target? We've heard of them maybe looking at some linebackers, and that'll warm your heart. But if they could get, say they've got 2 or 3 spots to fill, I think we all agree it's probably linebacker, safety, and defensive end are probably the positions where they really need to look at people. But then it's going to come down to what's available and how attractive they are, because I can't imagine it was a lot more attractive to look at Florida State coming to Florida State a year ago or 2 years ago than probably it does right now, unless you just want to win. But I mean, there's going to be competition. Nobody's going to be guaranteed of a starting job if they come to Florida State at this point. So that's going to be. I'm curious to see who's interested in Florida State at this point, because you're not coming into a team that needs a lot of help. They just need a couple of pieces for depth.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that last hour. It's kind of like it was so much fun when we were the attacker. Like the portal was our playhouse. It was a lot of fun. We could sit around and be like, well, I want that guy and this guy and that guy, because we needed all of those guys. Florida State needed all of those guys. But as your roster gets filled out to a place where you have functional depth, beyond functional depth, you have, in some cases, you have really high-end depth, where you could say a defensive tackle, for example. I mean, you can rotate 4 or 5 guys in there, all of whom would be starters elsewhere. And so it is going to be harder to find guys that want to enter into that kind of a battle. Yeah, you're right. You really can't maybe envision a place other than maybe safety and linebacker where that would be the case at all.
Yeah, and even there, again, so maybe it's a younger guy, and I think that might be the approach. Is you're not, a year ago, 2 years ago, you were looking for a lot of 3rd, 4th year college football players. Maybe right now you're looking for a guy who's a redshirt freshman who, hey, you're not going to start for us this year, but you'll play, and then maybe in the future you'll be a starter for a team that's one of the top teams in the country. And so that might be the sell more so than the proven Tatum Bethunes and guys like that have played a lot of college football. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And then I think the last thing is, and I'm sure you guys talked about it, is, Florida State is on the other side of it now. And so, everybody's going to be waiting for that portal window to close so that you were able to keep everybody you wanted to keep.
Yeah, I said to Tom that, we were off on Thursday and Friday, and over the weekend, I said, man, it's a wonderfully quiet 4 days. Like in the sense that nobody's announcing, nobody of any significance on the field made any announcements for Florida State. And that is really now where we're at as a fan base. I think you hold your breath because you got good players that other people are going to target.
Without question. I mean, I think if you can hold on to what you've got left, and again, I think there'll be 1 or 2 more departures, but you'd like to hope it'll be guys that are looking for opportunities to play elsewhere, and it's not just because they got poached by somebody else. But if you can get through this week, I mean, look, man, Florida State. There's a reason there's so much hype about Florida State. It's because of what they did last December, thanks in large parts of the battle's end, keeping this roster intact. And again, if you get hit at this point after spring practice, if you lose 1 or 2 impact players, it could have a big change on what our expectations are going into the next season.
Which are lofty. My brother, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep. Take care. That's Ira Schoffel, WarchantTV.com. Yeah, it would. If you lost the starting offensive lineman right now, you wouldn't be that upset because there's somebody there to replace him. If you lost, I suppose you don't want to lose another receiver. I'm talking about areas where you could lose a player. You could lose a running back. It wouldn't upset you. Well, if it was your guy, you'd be upset. But Rodney Hill.
I like them all in that room, but yes. Yeah, I know to your point.
Yeah.
It's not a deal breaker it doesn't move the line in terms of Vegas odds. That's not going to be, if Trey Benson goes down, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
But it's not going to move the line 3 points.
No. Running back rarely does. I mean, if you have a Dalvin Cook, it's a game changer, but.
Right. Even though Trey might be going after some of those lofty numbers this year, if he's given enough snaps to go after it. It's not like it's Dalvin and then the drop off behind Dalvin.
Right. I'm trying to think, like, where am I most comfortable losing somebody? It's offensive line. I just never thought I'd say that. And then probably running back.
Actually, among the least comfortable places you stumbled on it, it's wide receiver. That is when you're talking about you lose your best player. Let's say that's healthy right now. If Johnny goes down, okay, we can work around this, but
it's a problem.
That's a problem.
No, it's a real problem. I don't love our receiver room. I've said that before. We don't have many game changers there. We've got a lot of balance. We got guys that are willing to block. We've got size. We've got a physical freak in Johnny Wilson. Most people 6'7", 225 can't run like he does. So that's, that is a mismatch. But he's not a game changer in the sense that he's going to take one to the house, he catch a 7-yard hitch or something and go to make a guy miss and run 80 yards. That's not who he is. And there's not really many of those guys, if at all, in that receiving core.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing where if the recovery process for Winston Wright takes another level, and you see it with high profile athletes in the pros all the time, where, it might be a meniscus, an ACL, whatever, a shoulder, labrum. After a certain point, they forget that they're injured and they play like they used to. But there is this period of time that it takes for you to get comfortable with the new normal. And I don't think Wright has crossed over that line yet, or else probably people would have heard about it in spring a little bit more.
Well,
that doesn't mean that it can't happen in fall.
Yeah, we were out there. I mean, he didn't make much of a difference in spring at all. No difference, actually. Now, that's not a knock on him. That's to your point. I don't think he was completely comfortable, but he is declared fully healthy. We know that.
Right.
But he had not come around. And I think they were taking it slow as well. It was smart.
But it'll be interesting to see if that conversation changes in the fall with more health, or perhaps, they'd rev him up a little bit more. But when you're talking about game-changing receiver not named Johnny Wilson, the first name that pops in my mind is Vandravius. It's not Winston Wright. And when Winston transferred here, we thought that's exactly what he was coming here to be, which was somebody who is proven at the Power 5 level that can win a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of them.
Yeah, he had a big season at the Power 5 level at West Virginia. So you want to see that guy return, some semblance of that guy. And if you do, you're in good shape. But I can't think of another position where I would be. I mean, we're good at tight end. I don't want to lose anybody there, obviously. Well, maybe a couple guys we could lose there, but we could lose to the portal. Take it on down the road there.
Heaven forbid you forgot to interject that there.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a couple. And one that you need to put on defense. We should just stop it already with this foolishness. Courtney's never going to start a tight end. Move his ass over to linebacker. Let's be done with it. I'm telling you, he's a good fit there.
You just know.
You can tell. He also played defense in high school. So he's done it. Yeah. My man is going to be on that side of the ball. You watch. We got too many good tight ends for him here.
Please, I root for all these kids to have success. But just for this case, please tell me that Brian Courtney's not a 15-year linebacker in the NFL.
Wow. Because when that happens, you're going to hear it every day.
Because then, Brian, we don't have an issue, you and me. But I'm going to be rooting against you because, I'd have to hear about it until I'm 50.
I'm going to keep saying it out loud, and it will happen. The Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Local news now.
Buildings and cars were struck by gunfire Saturday night outside of...
What's up, guys? Our next partner that you're going to hear from is Athletic Greens. You've heard me talk about Athletic Greens in the past. Happy to talk about them again. I take Athletic Greens every day, and I gave them a try because certainly I wanted more energy, sustained energy. I wanted to support my immune system. I don't like taking pills and vitamins per se, and I wanted something that tasted good too. And the first time I tried it, I was very surprised. It had an appreciable effect on my energy levels. And also, over time, you'll note that it helps your skin, your hair, your nails. I don't have a lot of hair, but if I did, I bet I could feel that. I bet I could tell. It's a comprehensive health habit, and it is a powerful one at that. AG1 is great for recovery. That's Athletic Greens. And I take mine basically when I wake up every morning. I don't have to worry about it because you get all the nutrients that you want. It's the best way to ensure that you're going to get all of your vitamins. It's a carbon neutral business, by the way, if that's important to you. It is to a lot of people, and that's good to know as well. I would also note that it is a comprehensive solution to what you need from a supplement routine. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs right now with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/JCS. Helps me out, guys, if you use that. Not financially, but it lets them know that you heard this ad on my show. And I do take it, and I am vouching for them because I enjoy their product. It's athleticgreens.com/JCS. Check it out. I think you'll note the difference in your life with a simple drink each and every morning to start your day. athleticgreens.com/JCS.
So if you've got spring fever, go to thelonjohns.com or just look for our big purple truck.
I gotta have more cowbell.
My man, Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space.
Well,
you got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse?
Just slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay, mouse it is.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Night, Monday Smash, myself and Ira. I said I'll talk to you tomorrow, Ira, but I forgot I was doing the Smash with him tonight.
Smash it up, brother.
7 o'clock. We'll see you guys there. Throw questions at us if you'd like. That'd be great. And we'll try to answer them if they're good.
Here's one for you. What was the best musical act you saw this weekend?
Black Crows last night. I thought they were great. Isbell was good, but he's been better when we've seen him before.
Yep.
I think they got hampered by the win.
It really was.
That was crazy that night.
It was at least a 2.5 club win.
Really, pretty much everybody that we saw was good. It was a lot of fun, my brother.
JJ Gray brought it. He was good.
Really brought it. Yeah, he was great. It was awesome. It was all good. Let's do some probables, shall we? We got games today. Yeah, we do. Fired up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Freaking Rays are 19-3. Holy moly. Rockies, Guardians, Austin Gomber, Cal Quantrill. We got the Red Sox and the Orioles, Chris Sale, Dean Creamer. Astros, Rays. Good game. Jose Urquidy, Taj Bradley. Rangers, Reds, Nathan Eovaldi, Nick Lodolo. White Sox, Blue Jays, Lance Lynn, Chris Bassett. I feel like Lance Lynn pitches every night for the White Sox. Have I ever announced another White Sox pitcher?
Does your list have ERA next to it, or is it just the names?
It's got ERA.
What's Bassett's ERA this year?
5.40.
Yeah, figured. This whole speeding it up is not very Chris Bassett-like.
Yeah, he's 2-2 with a 5.40. Lance Lynn's 0-2 with a 7.59.
Woo! Play the over.
Struggle bus. That game begins at 7. You got time to bet the over. Marlins, Brewers, Edward Cabrera, Spencer Strider. Yankees, Twins, Johnny Brito, whose parents spelled Johnny ridiculously. Sonny Gray goes for the Twins. We got the Tigers and the Brewers, Matthew Boyd, Colin Ray. A's, Angels, Ken Waldachuk.
Should be a hockey player.
Jose Suarez. Royals, D-backs, Brad Keller, Tommy Henry, and finally Cardinals, Giants, Jordan Montgomery, and Alex Cobb. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the ball. Remember when Alex Cobb was a Ray?
I do.
Seems like 20 years ago.
It was a while ago. My dad really liked him. He said, this kid's got a little something to him. And then he had that run.
Yeah, he did. He did. It's weird. Some guys are in the league like 7 years and it feels like 20. Other guys are in the league forever and you forget them at all. You're like, oh, yeah.
So I've got a new favorite young pitcher that does not play for my team. You just watch and you see some guys. Oh, man.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about the baseball package. It's just flipping around to other people's games all the time and kind of getting to know other people's rosters.
And he was good last year to end the season. He's up and comer. But Luzardo from the Marlins, that guy is... I think he's going to be around for a long time.
Well, the Marlins can pitch. They just don't score a lot of runs.
Yeah.
They can really pitch, though.
Hopefully they have a fire sale again, and Luzardo is on the block. Would love it.
We're still figuring out. A lot of you asked the question. I don't know logistically if we're going to be able to do a draft party this year, guys. We're not sure. We're still trying to figure that out. I will know something by Wednesday for sure. It'll be last second. It's always laid back, so it's not as if we're putting on a big event. It may just be, we'll meet you over at such and such.
That's typically the way it goes.
That's kind of the way it goes. So I'll know more. We've been out of town. We just got back into town literally right before the start of the show today. So we've been out of town. I pulled in my driveway at 12:30, turned around,
I came
and
straight
came
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little tidying to do on our end.
So, that's that. But we'll know more. I just know this. We'll have the draft party if the Tampa Bay Bucks are able to draft Peter Skoronsky, the Northwestern offensive tackle.
Oh, all right.
Remember when I identified properly?
So we wait until the Bucks pick, and if they get him,
then we're having a draft
everybody
party.
drives over.
Then we
to
all
the
have the
draft
party. It's a big party at that point because we got the right guy. And everybody wants to celebrate the Bucks getting the right guy. Even fans of other teams. Although I hear the Eagles are looking at that particular offensive tackle. That was a whisper that they were interested, and that's not what you do, Philadelphia. You need to leave that alone.
You're right about when you need everything, start with the offensive line.
Always.
That's a good credo for today. But if the Bucks drafted all offensive linemen,
I'd be fine
this
with
year,
that.
I'd be thrilled. And
I don't know about all, but
if
yeah,
they did it, like, all right, there you go.
Yeah, you need good offensive.
Because that's not going to help you immediately this year with Baker.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
So let that thing mature together. Beautiful.
You know what's weird, though? We do this a lot. We all second-guess GMs. We have fun with it. It's one of the great it's your birthright as an NFL fan, right, of rooting for a franchise. We all debate these things, right? But offensive line, they get right more than they do any other position. If you draft an offensive lineman in the first round, most of the time it's going to work out. He's going to play for you. Good work out of you, sir. Good work, Director Matthew. Be well, everybody. Don't forget, Monday Night Smash at 7 tonight on WarchantTV. Peace.